I'm gonna go ahead and read a couple donations that I didn't get to go through. $50 from Soja. Awesome work, you guys. Let's kick cancer's butt while having some fun. Thank you to Blue Magician for your $50 donation. I've been watching GDQ for years now, and it's something I always look forward to. I had to donate during the Mega Man X block, as the series got me into gaming. Thanks to all the runners, staff, and donators for this wonderful charity event, an amazing display of gaming skill. I donated at SGDQ to save the animals, so this year, I'll do the opposite. Thank you, Science683, for your $50 donation. Long time no talk, Edo. Thanks. These events always remind me how when we all come together, amazing things can be done. So here's the first part of Radio PSI's donation to the cause. I blame Whitwix for this. Mel would never forgive me if I voted against the animals. And besides, we all have more time. That's the entire point of this, right? Give everyone more time with their loved ones by keeping cancer out of the equation. Got a $75 donation from Jord Ake. Yet another fantastic GDQ. Mega Man is one of my favorite franchises. Keep up the good work. Save the frames. Thank you, Luke Marceau, for your $50 donation. Keep up the great work, Edo Bean. And shout out to all rhythm game enthusiasts. Thank you. $83.20 from Latino Otaku. Had to donate during one of my favorite video game characters. Good luck to the runner. Kill the animals. Ethras donates $20. Had to donate for the hypest announcer. Another 20 coming if she loudly proclaims, I am the hypest AGDQ announcer! Nah, that wasn't so hype. Got a $20 donation from Matt Dan. Shout out to the runners, Mega Man in general, and Golden Jesse sitting next to me while waiting for our pizza to arrive. Money goes to killing animals because we always vote to save, and it keeps winning. Funny how that works. Got an anonymous donation of $50. Mega Man X is great. Watching the speedruns are giving me the nostalgic warm fuzzies. Cheers to all of that made this event possible, and cheers to a great cause. Thank you, Samulnax, for your $100 donation. Go on, take the money, and speedrun. Just wanted to pitch in one last thing before I go. We do have a bid index we're trying to get to. If you want to see the secret cow level from Diablo 2, you need to get $12,500, and we're only at $7,000. So if you want to make that happen, do so now. We're also trying to reach for the bonus game for Pokemon Blue Glitch Exhibition that needs $20,000, and so far we only have 2,088. So if you want that bonus game to happen, do so now and donate. Thank you guys for listening to me. This was Edo Bean, and I'm going to go ahead and shift the baton to Butters BB, who will be hosting for the rest of this block. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you guys soon.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your continued donations. Thank you, QED, for your $15 donation. Thank you to GDQ, putting on a great show as always, not least of which towards the technical staff. Also, Cal Level. Thank you very much, Satata Kahashi, for the $50 donation. Hello from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Awesome games, awesome time. Final Fantasy IV, any percent, no 64 glitch. Character name, Sheev for Rydia. Thank you very much, Estherus, for the $20 donation. Oh my god, that was amazing. You are the best. Thank you very much, Digital Badger, for the $50 donation. Wasn't planning on donating again so soon, but Flameburger's awesome zero skills just blew my mind. Thank you very much, Digital Badger, for the $50 donation. Wasn't planning on donating again so soon, but Flameburger's awesome zero skills just blew my mind. Thank you very much, Eski, for the $50 donation. Amazing Megman block. Been watching AGDQ for several years and recently got the money to donate. Keep kicking butt, guys. You guys essentially replaced TV for me for the whole week. Thank you very much, DevWolf, for the $20 donation. The Mega Man game series has always been my favorite set of games, and I'm super hyped to see you guys blow away each of these games in less than an hour. Also, way to show off those epic saber skills, Flameburger. You make us casuals look like total chumps.
Should we be hearing each other?
No, okay, there it is.
You are watching AGDQ 2016.
Ready?
There we
Okay, countdown. All right. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Hello, everybody. I am Tiki, and this is Mega Man ZX. This is a game I picked up in August, actually. Played through it for the first time, fell in love with it. Felt like it would be a really, really awesome speed game. So I practiced really, really hard and got it into AGDQ, and I think I'm going to be able to show you guys a great run. We'll go down the couch and go for roll call there.
All right, I'm Satoru.
I'm LV Creed.
Flameburger. And that's Joka.
All right, so right off the bat, oh, whoops. So ideally, okay, let me start over. So RNG in this game works a lot like the run that you just saw, Flameburger's Mega Man 0, where hitting objects in general with like buster shots, and somebody help me out here.
All right. Yeah, it's basically the same in that like anything random that occurs will affect the RNG, including, for example, he shot the snake with a lemon during that fight as part of the manipulation. What's different is that it doesn't reset at the start of every mission. Instead, it resets at the start of every boss, or like any time he does a cutscene skip, basically, which includes every boss, conveniently. So basically, the boss patterns are fixed unless he does something during the fight itself that will affect the RNG.
Right. So, yeah, the RNG resets every time the screen fades out, which makes manipulation actually a lot simpler in this game than Mega Man 0. There are also fewer factors, as far as I can tell, that affect the RNG. So, yeah, if I'm talking about RNG manipulation, like I'm most likely actually talking about RNG manipulation. So, yeah, this part is kind of a snooze fest. This is like the part that is supposed to introduce you to the controls of the game and stuff like that. So I think this would actually be a decent time to read donations.
Very well, thank you very much for that. And thank you very much to our lovely donators. Thank you, Anonymous, for the $250 donation. This Mega Man block has been awesome. I can't wait for Diablo 2. Let's see that cow level. Yes, make sure to keep donating towards that cow level. We need $12,500 to reach that. And we're currently at 7,461.
Okay, we're coming up on the end of this part here. Generally, you just have to go on a scavenger hunt for 4 people and talk to them all, and then report back to this guy. Basically, it like introduces you to the crawling mechanics and the moving around the city a little bit. This game is pretty interesting because it introduces like an open world, and like if you're playing through for the first time without help, you're definitely gonna get lost a lot. I definitely did on my first playthrough. And what that means is it's actually a very interesting game to route for a speedrun, because you do have to like figure out most optimal paths, what weapons you want to have when, and all that good stuff. I think that Flameburger here actually did a lot of the routing, whatever, and came up with a lot of the strats that you're gonna see in the speedrun.
Yeah, this boss is really interesting. Basically, you have to shoot these like blocks that he drops, and they'll fly up and hit the plane. And you normally don't have any way of hitting him directly with your attacks. But by firing charge shots in very specific ways, both horizontally and vertically positioning them, he gets like this little orbiting shot to ricochet into the plane, and it does bonus damage. If he gets that 3 times in a row, he can kill the plane 1 cycle earlier than you would normally be able to. You got it.
Yeah, it's the first two shots on that guy. Well, the first shot is like pretty easy. It's just like a really simple visual cue. Second shot I think is pretty easy, but the third shot, that's a little bit harder. It's pretty specific. I think the way I do it is I shoot 2 frames after I jump, or that's what I aim for. I think it works.
To delve into a little bit of the routing of ZX, you notice that there are trans servers throughout the entire world. There are 2 different types of trans servers. There's a red one and a yellow one. However, the yellow one is specifically used because the yellow ones are the only ones that enable you to travel throughout the world. The red ones are specifically for saving data and whatnot. What makes this route interesting is the fact that you notice he did the finding the people first, then do the plane boss first. If he did it the other way around, he wouldn't have to go through the city and do a red trans server, and he will wind up having to do a whole bunch of extra backtracking in order to get back to the air base, which he finished up just a few moments ago.
Yeah, certain missions just like don't have a teleporter at the end, so you need to put those in pretty careful spots in the route, or else you'll just have to run around a bunch.
So this level might seem slightly familiar if you were watching 2 runs ago.
Stepmania?
So yeah, this is a big throwback. This was actually one of the big reasons I fell in love with this game, because I thought this throwback was super, super cool. So there's going to be more RNG manipulation here. Well, actually, I'm not sure if you would call it RNG manipulation. It's just his position changes based on your position. So if I'm in like these general spots at these general times, then he's going to do this pattern every time. So I don't really have to worry too much about like guessing what he's going to do. This turns into an easy peasy fight. Alright, so now I have Model ZX, and this is kind of where the run really starts, because this is where I get my Z-Saber, and a lot of pretty cool tech comes out of it, which you'll see. I always make a menu mistake in the run. Basically, I just went to the wrong area. It's a pretty costly mistake for basically one wrong little button press, but what can you do? So that's the Z-Saber. Oh, also, you'll notice that like every time I am scaling up a wall vertically, I'll use a weapon every time I make contact with the wall, and what that does is it cancels the knockback. It cancels the knockback, so I basically move directly vertically up as opposed to up and back. Okay,
That jump's impossible, actually.
That jump is not impossible, but it is very difficult. It's more precise than Iceless and Mega Man X.
Area E is the first of the Maverick stages. They're not technically Mavericks, but the equivalent. And the way this game works with separating them is that you start with a selection of 4, and they're all based on the elements that were in the Mega Man Zero series: fire, ice, lightning, and neutral. There are 2 bosses of each element, and you have one of each available at first. And to get the other one of the element, you have to beat the first one of that element. So this would be High Volt stage, which is Lightning Elemental. And after he beats High Volt, he will get access to the other Lightning stage. In addition to acquiring a new form. The forms in this game, the extra forms, are based on the different Guardians from Mega Man Zero. HX would be Harpua, FX would be Fafnir, LX would be Leviathan, and PX would be Phantom. You get HX first because he's by far the most useful. HX can air dash and has incredible attack power.
Yeah, HX is straight up overpowered. You'll see in the run.
The route is pretty much based on the overall usefulness of the different biometals. So, of course, since HX is easily the first one that we go to, afterwards we're actually going to be going after the Model F pseudoroids and get the FX immediately, since we're keeping to the weakness of the Mega Man Zero series, since that's carryover. The Model HX is going to be weak to the Model F pseudoroids. So we're going to be taking out them almost immediately after High Volt.
This quick kill is actually really tough. Nice.
Very nice.
You have to set up those spinning slashes in like really specific ways to get enough damage, and also not mess up the RNG. Because if you hit him in the wrong ways, he just does like a completely different pattern and wastes a million time.
Anybody want to explain the?
Oh yeah, the level 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time he beats one of the bosses, he gets a level. He wants high levels on certain boss fights because it affects how much max energy he gets with the model he unlocks. So because he got a level 4 on that fight, he has a very high max energy on model HX, which is really important for the run.
Yeah. Level is the. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say that like the level's determined by whether or not he hits a weak point on the boss. You'll see the screen flashes red, and it can do a little extra damage in some cases. If that happens, his rank goes down for the fight. So the fact that he avoided doing that at all on Harpua or High Volt is really important. For some of the models, he doesn't care. Like he doesn't care what level he gets on Model PX, because Model PX is really bad.
Yeah, PX is not used in this run.
HX is super important though, as we mentioned, so
Yes.
that's a good start to the run for him.
Speaking of usefulness of the models, at this point, energy is going to be very important throughout the entire run. You don't necessarily start off with max energy with your models, and you do not recover energy for your models even after you defeat bosses. So energy drops are going to be highly important in how you keep your attack power at max.
Yeah, every model besides like the main ones like ZX have some so-called biometal energy, and it's used for like special attacks and increasing your attack power. Very important for the boss fights. So he's probably picking up a lot of the green energy drops on the way here, so he should be fine on HX energy for this fire mission coming up.
Yeah,
but, like,
generally in this section, it's not such a big problem. For whatever reason, a lot of the enemies drop a lot of energy, but it can get pretty dicey in some areas and in later parts of the game, and you'll see me killing a lot of extra enemies, enemies that like you wouldn't normally think I would need to kill, and that's just basically for the hope that I'll get extra energy drops, because you really want all the energy that you can get. That's like the #1 element of RNG in this game.
Here we see Model HX for the first time. It's got air dashes both vertically and horizontally. And then he can activate his overdrive, and it'll let his attacks do lightning damage. He uses that to kill those totems in one hit. And you can see it depletes his like green energy bar a little bit every time.
Yeah, so charging and overdrive are the only two ways that you can deplete your energy bar. If you just attack with any given model, then like normally, then it won't decrease your energy bar at all.
Small little tidbit about this particular mission, it's as opposed to interacting with NPCs, only people that work on the Guardian base can interact with people while the character's in the biometal armor. But as you can see, he had to transform back into human form so he can talk to civilians. If you talk to civilians via biometaphor and they get scared off and they pretty much won't speak to you or interact with you in any sort of fashion.
An important thing to note about using the overdrive in the biometals is, in addition to adding the element of the model to your attacks, like it'll add lightning damage to your attacks in model HX if you use the overdrive, it also just increases the damage. So on bosses that are weak to lightning, for example, you'll be able to do really absurd amounts by using overdrive and combo attacks.
Yeah, so the quick kills in this game, of which there are many, are pretty savage. Bosses don't last like more than 2 seconds if I pull the correct combos and overdrive usage off.
Fire bosses in particular have a rough time just
Yeah.
because they're weak to the most overpowered model.
Hopefully, if Tiki does it right, you'll see very clearly on Feslia who's the upcoming boss.
Ah! Oh well. So that was a pretty decent level. Alright, we want a level 4 here, but a level 3 is okay. Huh. Alright, got a level 3. Later on in the refight, I will hopefully be able to show you how that fight is supposed to be done. He lasts a lot less time than that. So now we're going to the second fire boss.
This is actually a route change from what it used to be. It used to be we would go to the first Model L stage, but recently we altered this.
Yeah, so the time differences are somewhat non-consequential. Like the current world record uses this route, but it is technically slightly slower. However, you do have a lot more FX to use in Lorera's level, which is the one after this, in this route, and that ends up being really useful.
Yeah, the old route you would go right to the ice stage after this, and you'd be going there without any model energy on the fire model. So you'd basically be relying on getting drops during that stage. By going to this stage first, you've got a lot of opportunities to get some energy ahead of time.
The other advantage to having both model FX parts is when you have both parts of one element, you get access to a new attack by charging your attack to a second level, and that attack will be used on a mini boss in the Model L stage.
So I really like this level. Everything looks kind of risky, but it's actually like easier than it looks, so it's just kind of fun, unless I'm doing stuff like this, I guess.
This is usually one of the more tougher stages in the casual run because you actually gotta pull a lava chasing you and there's a whole bunch of enemies in the way, so you can easily get stalled and get killed. Of course, since this is Tiki we're talking about, he's gonna make it look like easy and make it all free and whatnot. Whew. Well, almost free.
Those lava pillars are instant death if he touches them without invincibility, so that was kind of close.
Well, that last one was intentional.
There you go.
So I got
Correct.
Yeah, so I got 2 level 3 kills, which means I have level 6 total for my FX model, and that's exactly where I want to be.
Yeah, the weak points on the bosses are kind of jerkish. Flamel's weak point is his arms, which are really hard to avoid.
Alright, so now I'm going to Larare. This is the first ice level. There is quite a lot of vertical movement and like some pretty technical jumps. I think it's pretty fun as well, and I think it has some of the best music in the game. This game overall has an amazing soundtrack, and I highly recommend that if you think this game is cool at all, you just like sit down and listen to the soundtrack for a bit, because it is super, super good.
Yeah, of course, Area F is the superior soundtrack. Anyone who disagrees can find me in real life.
So you see he's got a little FX energy already. Normally, it'd be nice if he had a little more than that, but like, it's still better than if he had went here right away with nothing. Hopefully he'll get some drops here on some of these enemies. Okay, yeah, he got a little there. He should be fine.
Yeah. Luckily, there are some spots where I can pick some energy up for free. It's just laying around. And
Free energy.
Free energy. And you'll see me go for those a lot. There's one coming up right here. I go slightly out of my way to pick it up. But it's definitely worth the peace of mind. Ooh, I got a really lucky drop too.
So anyway, Tiki should be coming up into the mid-boss of this stage where you're gonna see the level 2 Model F in play, and the reason why we took out the first 2 fire bosses immediately.
Yeah, that fire wave is only accessible after you beat Flamel.
It's really cool that you see it in this route, because it used to just not be in the run at all.
Yeah. The only full charge attack you would see is HX's
Tornado.
which is
Absurdly
OP.
Okay, so the rare fight is coming up here. There's a quick kill for this as well, even though I'm just using FX instead of overpowered HX.
Yeah, FX attacks don't combo into each other quite as well as HX's, but you can still get quite a few hits in a row in.
Oh, fair enough. Yikes. So I missed that quick kill, so I'm going to be losing a little bit of time here.
Yeah, he ran out of FX energy, so now he doesn't have like a great damage option here. But he should be able to just finish it off.
all this does, it pretty much emphasizes the need for proper energy drops throughout the entire run, because if you're pretty much mess up or start off low, it's gonna end up pretty nasty in some boss fights or just pretty much the run in general.
So that was unfortunate, but it's not really a big deal.
LX energy is not very important. It's only for the electric bosses mostly. Now that 4 bosses are beaten, we're going to go into a intermission stage.
Which thankfully for the route, he's at access to a yellow transfer, so he can just teleport there. Any other place in there where it might have a red transfer, he probably would have to go extra ways in order to get to this point and waste time. So the route pretty much takes that into consideration.
Here we'll see one of the strongest aspects of Model FX, which is its mashing. You can take out regular enemies really quick.
Right, so you have 2 buttons to mash. So basically you can do double mash strategies really, really easily.
You won't be able to tell, but these things actually have like 1 billion health.
Using the model of HX is just as good, but probably for sure damage, FX probably would be the way to go.
We should probably talk about combos a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
Basically, like, there are certain attacks which, if you use them in sequence, you'll be able to hit the boss with each of those attacks, despite their invincibility times. So it's like HX has a 3-hit combo, and then you can also fit like some of the other attacks in. Like you can start with a jump slash, then do a 3-hit combo. And it allows for really quick kills if you're also getting elemental bonuses on each of them. No combos there, unfortunately. When he's up in the air like that, you can't really use the 3-hit combo and such.
Yeah, so there's a little manipulation there where if you switch models fast enough, then he'll spawn on the ground, and then you can just combo him and kill him. Unfortunately, I wasn't fast enough on switching the model.
So here in Area, there's going to be a little bit of an interesting secrets breaking this particular stage. What Tiki's about to do is she's going to take damage from a particular enemy, transform it to the model FX, and then punch a breakable wall that you're actually supposed to break on the opposite side. So this pretty much skips a pretty decent chunk of the level in which you probably would have to encounter a mid-boss in either normal direction.
Yeah, this stage is awful if you have to go through the normal route. The shortcut's really good. Can't see much, but that's fine. There's not much to see anyway. He's already done, basically.
You can see that I have basically no max max ammo for this model because of the level 2 kill that I got on previous level. But it shouldn't be too big of a problem.
Here he's comboing jump attacks with ground attacks.
Yeah, so the combo with this is jump attack, ground attack, or charge attack, ground attack.
Yeah, Alex doesn't have great combos, but it does do a lot of damage per hit, so it's still pretty good against lightning enemies.
Thank you very much, Anonymous, for the $50 donation. If we kill some animals this year, let it be the cows. This money goes to the secret cow level in Diablo 2.
So here you'll see me killing a lot of enemies, and that is basically to farm for energy drops. So you do leave some things to chance in this run, but generally speaking, if you kill a lot of enemies, you'll get enough energy. Knock on wood.
Thank you very much, Liver Mortis, for the $50 donation. Loving HDQ 2016 so far, the Mega Man runs have been amazing. Absolutely loved the Mario 2D block yesterday as well. Kill the cows.
An interesting thing about energy is that if his currently equipped model is filled out, the extra energy will go into his other models. And like it's got a specific order. It'll always go to HX first, and then FX, then LX, which is like a really convenient order. So that's like the exact order of priority you would put into those. So all that extra energy you just picked up is probably filling out his HX.
Yeah, which is very nice. It's not super necessary, but it's very nice.
Yeah, HX energy is a very precious commodity in this run.
So this level is absolutely heart attack inducing because there are spikes everywhere that you just have to like thread the needle through.
What kind of also makes it interesting is that since you're equipped with the LX, which is going to be used for the entirety of the level, well, not the entirety of the level, but most of the underwater levels, you get all range movement, all directions with the LX. Not to mention ease of underwater movement, since you pretty much move sluggish with the other models. It can make things very interesting in going through those little tight.
Nice.
That's a really tricky quick kill. He has to hit that thing like 5 times before it retracts. He also did a neat RNG manipulation where he went into the room with a charge ready and then just like released it immediately as he got control. And it sets up for the tentacle coming out on the right side.
So this guy is kind of odd to combo. It's definitely a little bit harder than it looks. So I didn't get it there. But either way, as long as you have enough FX, he dies pretty quickly.
You can see how slow he's moving in the water with FX.
Yeah. So that's one of the main advantages of using LX. You move a lot faster through the water, but I'm coming out of the water right now, so...
Yeah, it wouldn't be worth to switch just for that tiny segment.
One thing worth noting is picking up little energy drops like that doesn't lose me additional time, even though it stops the game, because every time you report a mission or take a mission at a trans server, your energy has to fill up anyway, and it stops the game to do that.
Basically, anytime he takes damage, he's losing that time. It doesn't matter if he gets the health in the mission or at the end.
Yeah. Alright, so we're almost out of the woods with the spike section. There is one more kind of tricky little maneuver I have to do. Whoop. Right out of the gate here. I'm gonna damage boost off this guy and dash on these spikes and go through.
Nice.
Not particularly difficult, it's just that if you mess up, you die. So this amount of HX at this point is really, really, really nice because it means I'm gonna not have too much trouble filling out the rest of my weapons, and that's gonna be super handy for the boss rush.
So now we're pretty much going to be coming up to the final 2 pseudoroids. Both of them contain the Model P. Of course, we probably could find a way to do them earlier, but 1, they're out of the way. 2, the Model P is pretty much useless. It has weak attack energy, the charge abilities that they have for other levels, pretty much not useful in the speedrun at all. Also, once you finish with this particular mission, you can also backtrack and go to the next area, which is Area L, and immediately start that mission. So it's pretty much convenient that these 2 are last in the run.
Alright, so that was a pretty clean screen. The top route detours are just to pick up some energy, which I didn't actually really need, but I mean, it's always better safe than sorry.
Here we see the tornado for the first time. It's devastatingly powerful. That's the level 2 charge effect of Model HX.
Yeah, it is by far the best weapon in the game. Oh.
Thank you very much to all the donators. Congratulations, we have hit $500,000.
Oh,
Yeah, so not getting the quick kill on this guy is a little bit costly, but it is one of the more difficult quick kills in the game. Instead of taking that last hit that I took, ideally you would slash him 2 more times. So coming up is my favorite section of the game, but it's also one of the most perilous sections of the game. But when it goes right, it looks so smooth. Oh, another cool thing about this section, before that section, is that you have to go through a level backwards. And I think that's just a really cool element of the game. Like, the open world aspect of it means that levels aren't closed off. So, like, I'm actually traveling through this level to get to another one.
Alternatively, if you wind up going straight the other way to the trans server, you have to go through a convoluted area of ladders, up and down, some areas with spikes. It's just a pain to go through if that was a part of the route, but thankfully that's not the case.
yeah, that area's a mess. It's not too bad though. Just go back through that like one big room and then you're here. There's all kinds of obstacles in the way here, so he's using a lot of fully charged shots of ZX to break them, because that's a really powerful attack for destroying regular enemies or objects.
So these satellites you see here, if you get kind of one of these, they have different status effects. The blue ones will reverse your controls, while the red ones will disable your attack abilities for a little bit. The only way to negate the effects is either wet it out, or if you find an NPC, they give you some smelling salts, and you can pretty much instantly repair yourself. Another small aspect of this stage is these are one of the few stages where there are cursed areas. And what I mean by cursed areas is if you have low health at any time in these areas, you have little hunter bats that chase you around trying to finish you off.
Yeah, so the flip side of it looking good when it's smooth is it's really hard to recover when you make a mistake, because everything relies on everything else, and if you make one mistake, it kind of snowballs. So that's the quick kill on Protect Rose. As you can see, the tornado kind of does most of the work, and then you just lazily swoop in for the kill.
Yeah, even element or bosses that aren't weak to the element of lightning are best killed with HX, just because its attacks combo so well. He won't necessarily be doing that in the boss rush if he has to conserve some of his energy. It depends. Here on the regular stages though, he definitely just wants to use HX on both of the non-elemental bosses.
Yeah, so generally speaking, I will be using Model ZX on Protect Rose in the boss rush. That's also a pretty cool strat when it goes right.
Yeah, ZX isn't bad. It's just not quite as good.
Thank you very much, Side Control, for the $50 donation. This is my third GDQ. Gotta see the cow level run.
So he's finished up all the regular stages now and he's heading into the end game. He just needs to travel through this intro area again to get there.
Again, I'll be killing a lot of enemies, hoping for energy drops. I do have a decent amount of HX here, which is good.
So on the way to the next area, I think it's a good time to talk about secondary abilities of the models. Like you see with the model HX, it has an enemy analyzing scanner, which shows weaknesses of biometals and the health of particular enemies. In this case, for the model FX, which is going to be used in a little bit, it has the ability to direct shots. By using the stylus, you can use the stylus to pretty much trace and direct where shots will wind up traveling. It's going to be used in the upcoming mid-boss. And as you can see, he's pretty much just directing the pathway of the specific shots for both heat busters. And it's about to come into play right now, actually.
All right, so supposedly there's a way to manipulate this guy so that he stays right here, but I think it's just pure chance, and like I haven't figured out the way to manipulate him. But that was a really good pattern, but sometimes he can fly up, kind of like his friend Storm Eagle.
Eagle manipulation is fake. It was all a hoax I made up.
Blame Flame.
Thank you, Baked Potato, for the $100 donation. Eggman ZX is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm so excited that it's finally showing up in a GDQ. I hope Advent gets some attention eventually too. Good luck to Tiki, and thanks to everyone helping in the fight against cancer.
This is a really tricky platforming segment. Takes a nice damage boost there.
I had it. I had all the hard parts down, but alas.
Normally you have to switch into a different model to get through there, but with really good movement like that, it's just barely possible to get through in HX entirely.
So yeah, this is the way you're kind of intended to do it. Oh boy, okay. So there is a quick kill on this boss as well. It's a little bit more involved than some of the other ones, but it does involve a tornado. Okay, so for whatever reason, I didn't actually have overdrive activated when I executed that tornado, so it didn't do enough damage. Not a huge time loss though. It's not a big deal. Whoop. So I forgot to take the mission, but I can just do that at the next server.
Thank you very much, Sam22, for the $800 donation. First time donator here. Yeah, $800, that's a good donation, come on. First time donator here. Thanks to the organizers, runners, and volunteers for everything you guys do at the AGDQ events. This goes to the cow level in Diablo 2. Moo. Greetings from Switzerland.
You use HX on the pods here, Tiki?
On the pods, yeah.
Okay. I should explain damage stacking then. It's actually the same as in Mega Man Zero. You just hit him with 2 attacks at once and it does 1,000,000 damage. The third hit of the HX combo like shoots out this projectile and it actually hits the pods at the same time as the actual slash. So he just gets like absurd amounts of damage from it. Lets him kill the pods in 2 combos each. He could switch to HX here and mash them down, but it ends up not being worth it for the model transformation time.
Yeah, plus this way isn't much slower in general.
Yeah.
Even without the model transformation.
He's got another tentacle boss here, but he doesn't have an RNG manipulation because it doesn't fade the screen to black. So RNG doesn't reset, and he's just got to get lucky. He'll try and do more damage stacking here if he can. Ooh, that was close. The red ones are the best for trying to get the damage stack on. Oh, nice.
Okay, so now I'm pretty low on my Model HX, which is somewhat alarming. Hopefully I'll have enough to finish this fight. I think I just barely do. Actually, I'm gonna be one short.
So you can see how much time he's losing just because like he was low on the HX energy. A little bit more and this fight would have been over 20 seconds ago. It's one of the least fortunate things you can have happen is running out of energy. You got through it though.
Okay, because I'm at 0 energy here, I am going to exit and respawn. There's a small energy grab for free at the very beginning of the next segment. So I'm going to exit and respawn it 3 times.
Thank you very much, Chaos King 1236 for the $400 donation. This is my second AGDQ, and this time I actually know some people who are here. I lost my grandmother to lung cancer, and my grandfather won a battle with throat cancer last year. Gaming for charity has to be one of the greatest ideas ever thought of. Put some of this money to topping off the Final Fantasy any percent run, and put the rest towards, well, allowing the animals to perish.
So this is the last segment of the run, and it's the boss rush. Unfortunately, there aren't any free energy drops here, so I just kind of have to hope to get some from these guys. Okay, didn't get any there. I have a couple more chances.
Yeah, there are a lot of elevator rides on this stage where you can try and get energy, but it's a lot of luck. Good. Conveniently, it puts bosses of the same element together, so he can just like stay in one model. You couldn't really see it there, but he just summoned like this really cool ice dragon as the second attack of LX.
Yeah, not like super useful in terms of like movement or utility, but it is very cool looking, so that makes up for it.
Makes a funny noise too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kirby Volt, for the $100 donation. Gotta donate during the Inti Creates games. Mega Man ZX is my favorite of the Mega Man series, and Gunvolt is a blast. Good luck with the runs, and let's beat the fight on cancer.
Oh, I kind of forgot that those guys were there.
Thank you very much, Anonymous, for the $50 donation. Had to donate during one of my favorite series. The Zero series in particular really reminded me what I loved about the series when I was a kid.
Alright, so that is what the quick kill is supposed to look like. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to the Mega Man ZX Dream Team, which is Ikisode, Ariel, and Dragon, and also Flameburger, who's here. All of those guys put together a lot of videos, a lot of material. It's super, super helpful for new runners like I was a few months ago. And they just did a lot of research and work on the game and have very solid times themselves.
Except for me. I never finished the run.
True. But, oh, that was weird. But Flame did do a lot of the routing and strategy. So I got some pretty decent luck with energy drops, and now I'm in a pretty okay spot with HX. Not like a great spot, but it's definitely manageable, and that helped a lot too. Basically, energy for other weapons doesn't even matter at this point, because I am done using other weapons, except for Model ZX.
Nice.
That is what the quick kill is supposed to look like here.
You can see how much of a time swing there is between getting the quick kill and then versus like them just doing whatever random stuff they normally try and get.
So yeah, HX just absolutely wrecks these guys. It's like not even fair for them.
Thank you, Squishy Flan, for the $100 donation. Always a fan of the Mega Man games, especially the ones that come off of the X series. Can't wait for Capcom to hopefully release another one. Until now, I'll settle for some fun in Diablo. Unfortunately, the butcher has already paid off, so I guess we better give him some work. It's cold outside, so bring those critters in to where it's nice and warm. 50 to the cat level, and 50 to kill the other animals.
So this quick kill is pretty complicated. All right. Well, he's
Good
dead.
guy,
That's the
Purple.
important part.
Good guy, Purple.
Alright, so it is a little unfortunate that I had to use so much HX there, but it shouldn't be too big of a problem. So I will need to use some damage boost strategies here, so I will need to use an E-Tank.
This is a cool RNG manipulation. He forces that enemy to drop large energy by firing, or like buffering the release of that charged shot right as he gets out of the door. Final fights. there aren't consistent manipulations for either of these fights, so it requires a lot of on-the-spot thinking. This last phase can go invincible, so lots of luck here. Nice.
Time.
Time.
55-54.
All right, that's not too bad. So we generally use in-game time to time. So 54:27, world record's 51:59. So not too bad.
Good job.
I hope you guys like ZX. You guys should definitely go play it. It's a great game.
Round of applause for Tiki on a very nice Mega Man ZX run.